This problem like you would on Thursday during the quiz. 2 minutes completely on your own. You're not talking to anybody. You're not getting help from anybody. Mark this diagram up, make it your own. Mariah, you can start filming it. You've already started. Excellent. And if something bad happens, we'll just keep going anyway. Thanks, sir. It is mission critical with these things that you know what graph you're talking about. Oh, that's right. One more time over here. Alright, I am not saying that this is a masterpiece. I have not looked at it thoroughly. I don't know. It could be horrible. I bet it's not. I bet it's not. Alright, so just hello. Alright, so my goodness. Alright, things I like. Edgar's marked it up. This is F prime. You've got to know it's F prime. Other important things they told you in the beginning of the problem. You've got horizontal tangent line over here, horizontal tangent line, and horizontal tangent line, right? They told you those three? Because you need to know for sure it is a perfect horizontal tangent line there. The other thing I want to make sure is really clear, and I don't see it on your paper, but something that is going to make a difference in a little bit. What's he missing? Something that they told you in the intro to the problem. Nora, what do they tell you in the intro?
Points of inflection.
Did they tell you points of inflection?
Yeah.
All right, so you've got points of inflection at -5. So that means I am changing my concavity from this would be concave down to concave up. Got a point of inflection at -5. I've got another one over here at 0 and another one over here at 3. There's one more thing that they told you that you haven't really captured. Noemi, what's the other thing?
The vertical tangent line?
There's a vertical tangent line. The vertical tangent line is essential, right? And this is going to be pretty typical on the AP exam. We've talked about this before. Vertical tangent lines are hard to see. It's hard to know for sure that you have a vertical tangent line, so they're usually going to tell you. They're going to tell you there's a vertical tangent line. So real quick, let's just do this one together. Determine the x-coordinate for horizontal tangent lines. And here we go. Because part A is like a 4-point question. So F has horizontal tangent lines. This is the only one we're going to do together. What does that mean? F has a horizontal tangent line. What does it mean? If you don't know, take out that gold sheet. I want you, you gotta know it. You gotta know it, gotta know it, gotta know it. Ramveer, what do you know?
F prime equals 0.
F prime is equal to 0. I will tell you right now, Jose, I hope you believe me. As soon as you write that, I get to give you the first point. For real!
F prime is equal to
F prime is equal to 0 is where the horizontal tangent lines are. You get the first point. Now here comes the second point. Where are they?
X equals -1.
X equals... I heard x equals -1. Is f prime equal to 0 at -1? Is f prime. This is f prime. This is f prime. Is f prime equal to 0 at -1?
Yes.
Yes. The people that were saying no, is that, were you thinking over here is where the horizontal tangent line is? F prime would have a horizontal tangent line. But I'm asking you questions about the graph that you don't see. F has the horizontal tangent line. F prime is equal to 0, and that should be, what, -5?
-1
-1
and 5.
and 5. Okay, that's the second part. All right, good. Classify each as a relative max, a relative min, or neither. Let's get some brave souls on this. At x equals -5, does f have a relative max, a relative min, neither?
Neither.
How would you know? Nora, how would you know?
Neither?
Neither at -5? Why are you saying neither?
Because it's a point
Because it's a point
of inflection.
of inflection. Okay, David?
Because it's going from decreasing to decreasing
One more time?
it's going from, it's decreasing constantly.
Stop saying it.
The function is decreasing.
The function is decreasing. Which function?
The derivative.
The derivative is decreasing. That's true. Go back to the goal sheet. What does it mean for the function f to have a relative max? Marvin, what does it mean for f to have a relative max?
Equals 0 and it changes 5.
Can't give it to you. Jose,
Changes from positive to negative.
what changes from positive to negative? Be specific.
F prime changes
F,
to positive.
and what's this the graph of? F prime. This is the graph of f prime. The change that's happening here, f prime is changing from positive to negative. So guess what? F has a max because f prime, the graph that I see, is changing from positive to negative. So I'd say something like at x equals -5, f prime changes positive to negative. What does that mean?
Relative max.
F has a relative max, and you can abbreviate it that way. That would get you the third point. So now I've got to go on over. I've got to look at my other place where I had a root. Right, at x equals -1. This is an easy one. What's happening at x equals -1? Eunice, what's happening at -1? The derivative what? And that I want to be careful with. At x equals -1, what's the derivative doing?
Going from negative to positive.
The derivative just changed from negative to positive, so what does that mean?
Has a relative minimum.
F, not the derivative though, Eunice. F has a relative minimum. So we know what's going on at -5. We know what's going on at -1. The last place for me to check is over here at x equals 5. Jennifer, what's happening at x equals 5?
Neither,
Neither. Why?
because it stays positive. The function of f prime of x stays the same.
The derivative didn't change sign. The derivative is equal to 0 here. It's positive. F prime is positive before this. F prime is positive after this. So what's happening here, Christian?
The function f of x stays.
So at x equals 5, f prime does not change sign. So what? So does not sing. Yes, it does not sing. Does not change sign. The derivative is equal to 0 there. The derivative doesn't change sign. Now, Amy, what's happening there?
It's a saddle.
It's a saddle point. Here, right? That's what a saddle point would look like. But I want you to be really careful. Go back to part A. What are they asking for? Your choices are relative max, relative min, or neither. You have advanced knowledge that it's a saddle point, but answer their question. So the answer here is neither. Are we good? All right, so I want to give you guys the next 8 minutes. The goal is to at least complete parts B through E. So this could technically be worth 5 points. All right, and I gave you your paper back, right? Dave.
So is it more like you get like the wrong points, but you'd explain them? Would you get points for that?
You're going to get some points, for sure. For sure. Set my timer so I don't distract the timer. I get so excited when we get out. Mariah's camera working okay? Yes. Are you okay? The camera's working better than you are today?
Field trip tomorrow.
Field trip tomorrow. See, but yesterday you guys were like, it's Monday. Jennifer Gonzalez. Giselle. B through E.
From 0 to 7.
Mariah.
Or from negative 1 to 7. Positive.
Your correction. Oh my gosh. Adriana.
I'm trying to see when it's commenting on so the prime has to be on beer. So I guess from negative 3 to 1. And then by 2.
So find all the values of x at which f. So how would you make it
from
from
5 to
5
7?
Yeah.
For the answers, when you write it, you write domain restriction, or do you write
Yeah.
X out?
So on this one, the question was, where is f prime? And I can see from the graph, there's 1, 2, 3 actual places. Where's this next one? Where's f prime increasing? Right, so for things like increasing and decreasing, things like positive and negative, you're usually going to tell me an interval.
That's the real.
Right? Really.
Oh, we have set from negative 3 to 2. Positive 7. Concave. When f of x
Abraham.
then f prime of x is equal to
Edgar. Very good, sir. Jasmine. Question.
Why did it work to? That's a C. What do you mean? We need to have sequential.
You guys want to say?
But the graph is like it. Oh, like a 2 doesn't go.
Okay. Nora. Here. Curious, does this assignment look familiar to anybody?
No.
I mean, like, it's like your handwriting in your work?
I marked it in yellow.
Okay.
So did I.
Yellow, the color, if you saw the 100, that's what
What?
E, C, D, and E, that's what we're all working on. Why don't you listen to me?
Oh, I forgot.
Oh my God, half the points come from the justification. Why did you pick this interval?
Positive.
Oh, no.
It's increasing. Oh, the function. The function is positive. The function is increasing. The derivative is increasing.
The derivative is half to connect everything back to
But then it doesn't for
Wait, it's also
value.
decreasing in the core?
I'm sorry, what
And
was
then I'm
that?
like, but that's an interval, that's a value.
I was just saving it. I've had some classes where they start pinching one another when
I
somebody
mean, it
says
is
word
not for
it.
the interval.
Yeah, for F value.
Line R, I mean, there's more than one.
Okay, I'm testing you.
Wait, no, we have to say, we have to write
Perfect.
the
F is concave up means
Like,
F
how do we
prime
know the
is
points of
increasing.
inflection
So
at
where is
F
F
of
prime
X?
increasing?
We know the points of inflection on prime of X.
From -3 to 2 and love it, full point. You have to connect it to F prime. Must go back to F prime.
But it was if we went from positive to negative.
That's the thing I like about math.
But the way you show it.
Find all values of x at which
This is a
f is
derivative.
concave up. So if f is concave up, that means f prime is increasing. So where's f prime increasing?
I don't know where to
From -3 to 2. Okay, I see it. I'm with you. I'm gonna stick up for you here. Okay, and then from B to 7.
If they just shade it with the
It's 5. It's 5.
That's
That's
if
your
X equals negative 3, X equals
Yeah, I see the B though.
Okay,
I don't know how to
there you go. There you go. Keep it going.
I don't know like this.
Because it's touching it.
I mean,
No, but he said
I wouldn't just.
It doesn't matter.
Wait, you can say there was a point of inflection.
No, he said that the brackets, like,
So where
only
is
some, like, if you see it on the, like, you'll only see it, like,
What did
on
you
the
say there was a point of
test.
on the
inflection?
test. Like,
If you
if we're
just
doing
don't
first
write
one,
it,
You only said
yeah,
there was a
just, like,
point of
don't worry
inflection.
about it. He said, like,
X
if you
equals
see it,
negative
just make sure it
5.
doesn't throw you off.
So the fact that f prime is going to be
Maybe I should turn the camera this way. I'll just listen into this talk. It's on you guys again. Ah.
yeah, you do.
Right, and that's why A would have information.
So why you say something?
Because it's two different
Good.
places.
So x has points of inflection.
No, you
That
means
means
if it's
Oh, it's on all three of you guys.
unison.
Cute.
Unison.
It's not.
Wait, what does U stand for?
But hold on, I asked where f prime changes. From
Yeah,
increasing
they're
to
not-
decreasing. That happens at one place.
Yes, but these are the two
That happens
points
at
where
two.
this is happening
It's
at.
just
U
with
stands
that-
for like and.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
that's basically what
It's
it
a good
stands.
idea to link
Like,
it
it's
together,
with
right?
it.
Where is f prime making the change
Like,
from
I was
increasing to
writing my
decreasing?
homework.
Not
And
literally
How they always
connected.
where is f prime making the
Why
change
are
from
you
decreasing to
saying
increasing
and?
at
Why
-3
are you
positive 5?
using unison?
Like,
Good.
Unison sounds good.
I like doing that. I always do it.
Alrighty, folks.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
cleaner.
we're glad.
So I want to, oh, perfect timing. Perfect timing. It's like I had a plan. Alright, I always have a plan. That's how I roll.
That's all.
Alright, so here's what I want to do. For the most part, it looks like A through E are going really well for just about everybody in the house. And I would tell you that if we were looking at like the AP exam, being able to pick up all the points A through E would probably like land you at a 3. Like a 3 out of a possible 5. And that's good. It's a good place to start. But, anybody hungry for better than a 3?
Yeah.
let's say something.
A couple of folks, especially those of you that I'm writing letters of recommendation for this week. Jennifer's like, oh yeah, I want a 6, coach. Get me a 6. All right, so that's where E, F, and G come in. So let's look at E. Assuming that f of -3 is equal to 4, find the equation of the tangent line at x equals -3. Have a quick strategy conversation. What are you going to do? Yes, we did this yesterday.
So now let's try and remember what we did.
Oh. I'll say I'm going to cry soon.
Don't worry, I got this. Okay, so we plug this. It gives us an equation. Very well, you plug it into an equation that it
Or then you plug into the equation, and then you get the slope.
Oh, because it's already 10. Yeah, you plug it into the equation and then.
I mean, you don't even have to plug it in the graph.
Just extra.
Because tangent
All right.
It doesn't give us an equation.
you have to find the slope. They already get you, they already have the derivative.
All right, so let's pull everybody back together. So what I heard in most of the conversations were like, what do I need? What do I need? I need tan. I need slope.
Okay.
I need f prime of -3. Now here's the other thing I heard. I heard most folks were like, oh, I'm supposed to plug into the equation. Because that's what we did yesterday. You're like, there must be an equation. I did not actually give you an equation here. So how are you going to find f prime of -3?
Look at the graph.
You're going to look at the graph. You have the graph of f prime in front of you. What's f prime of negative 3?
Negative.
It's negative 2. You actually can get this one right from the graph. They labeled the point really clearly for you. The point is negative 3, negative 2. The negative 2 is the y value for f prime. That means it's the slope. So, equation of your tangent line, L of x is going to be negative 2x plus 3 plus 4. Check. How many guys would have gotten that point? Rambeer, what's up?
How do you solve, like, get the negative, so if the point equals negative 2, that's automatically a slope for the tangent line?
Because, what's this the graph of?
That's the derivative.
This is the graph of the derivative, and derivative means slope. It means slope of tangent line. Okay? All right, and here's where things were going too fast yesterday, and I lost you guys at the end of the class. F, using your equation for the tangent line in part E, estimate the value of f of negative 2.8. Using the tangent line that you just came up with, go estimate f of negative 2.8. This is the easy part. What are we going to do? The only thing that you're going to do, if you want to estimate f of negative 2.8, it's the only thing I need you to do.
Oh, right, yeah.
How am I going to estimate f of negative 2.8?
Round it up.
Don't round it up.
No.
Oh my gosh, it's the same thing all the time.
You
To
literally
find
just
f of negative
plug it in.
2.8, all you do is you go to your tangent line. That's why you find the tangent line. The tangent line touches the graph at negative 3, and because of that, I can use it to approximate. So I'm going to say that f of negative 2.8 is approximately what I get when I plug negative 2.8 into L. Oh, so that's negative 2 times negative 2.8 plus 3 plus 4. Hi. Okay, I'll send her in just a bit. Is everybody okay with the estimate?
Yeah.
David?
Is it okay if we want to put f of negative 2.8 approximate and then the equation?
So you don't want to write this?
Yeah.
That's totally fine. Totally fine. But you better show me that you're approximating f of negative 2.8. And Nora? What do you know?
You don't have to simplify.
And you're not going to simplify. Even though it feels wrong. No, don't simplify. Everybody okay?
Yes.
All right, so now for the hard part. This is the part where I know I lost everybody yesterday. Is this an overestimate or an underestimate? And I heard yesterday somebody tell me it's a 50-50 shot. It doesn't matter, just pick one. I'll tell you, even if you pick the right one but you don't know why, you get no points. I'll also tell you there's going to be a question like this on the quiz. Put a little star next to this. I'll even tell you there's going to be a question like this on the test that you have next Friday. Double star. There's going to be a question like this on the trimester exam that you're taking.
Quadruple star.
There's going to be a question like this on the AP exam in 26 days. I don't even know how many stars you've got now, but I want you to hear this loud and clear. Can you guys show me a graph that is concave up?
See.
Show me a graph that's concave up. Okay, where are the tangent lines if your graph is concave up?
Below.
Tangent lines are below. So your estimate using the tangent line is?
Underestimate.
An underestimate. So here's the thing. You're using the tangent line at x equals negative 3. So you're going to start your sentence this way. From x equals negative 3 to the place that I'm estimating. The negative 3 is my point of tangency. You don't have to write the part that's in green. The negative 2.8 is the point that I'm estimating. I just want to make sure you know why those are there. From negative 3 to negative 2.8, does anybody know the concavity of F? Hear that question again. F, not F prime. The only thing you see in front of you is the graph of F prime. So here's x equals negative 3. Somewhere over here is where the x value is equal to negative 2.8. Jennifer, you feel like you know the concavity of F? What do you think? What's the concavity of F going to be?
Okay,
Why?
because f prime is increasing between x equals negative 3 and x equals negative 2.8.
Is everybody okay that F prime is increasing? F prime's increasing. So here's what you need to write. From x equals -3 to x equals -2.8, F prime is, what's it doing?
Increasing.
Increasing. That's nice. I care about that though, because now you can tell me something about F. Jennifer, if F prime is increasing, do you know anything about F? F double prime would be positive. I want you to go up. It's on that gold sheet. If you find where F prime is increasing towards the bottom, what F is concave up. And if F is concave up, David, what do you know about those tangent lines?
Oh, if this is concave up, then it is an understated tangent line.
Oh, God! F is concave up. Where are those tangent lines? Tell me where they are first. The tangent lines are below. So what about that estimate? Don't say understatement. Don't say overstatement. What kind of estimate are they?
Underestimate.
It's an underestimate.
Wait, what did I say?
What did he say the first time? Understatement. It's an underestimate. Done. We're good? I will tell you right here. Less than 10% of the students on the trimester exam are able to pick up this point. Less than 10%. You have to give me the interval that includes your point of tangency and the point that you're estimating. You have to tell me what's happening with F prime because that's what you see, and you link it to the concavity. Because once you guys know the concavity, you know underestimate or overestimate. Okay? All right, so the last thing is that I want to sketch the graph of F double prime. And I bet some of you guys, if you did well on last night's homework, you don't need me for this at all. You have in front of you the graph of F prime. I'm interested in sketching the graph of F double prime. Who are the folks that are going to go solo? Okay. So you guys go solo on this. Folks that are with me, here's the graph of F prime. I want you to have a quick conversation with somebody near you. Do a quick download. What do you know about F double prime?
So, from -7 to -3, since this graph is increasing, then it's going to be negative.
It's on you guys.
Alright, is the camera working okay?
Yes, it is.
Oh.
But like we're not getting the buffering issue?
No, no.
Good. Alright, let's get some hands on this. I'll take anything from anybody. What do you know? Edgar, get me started.
-7 to -3, F prime is decreasing.
Okay, so what I heard you say is on the interval -7 to -3, F prime is decreasing, so F double prime is negative. Everybody okay? So I'm going to graph in using the green. I'm going to be below the x-axis. Good. Easier place to start. Get the roots. Get those roots if you can. Giselle, where are you going to have some roots? Where's F double prime going to have roots?
Wherever the F prime has a horizontal tangent line.
When F prime has a horizontal tangent line, F double prime is going to have a root. So I've got a root at -3. Edgar, where and Abraham, where else? 2, where else? And at 5, I've got roots. I like getting the roots because then it gives me a good guide from here. Right? I heard Abraham say, Edgar, you said that the blue, F prime is decreasing, but I think we also know a little bit more. Was -5 a point of inflection?
Yeah.
Was there a point of inflection at -5? So from here until -5, I also know about the concavity. F prime is concave, what is that, down? So if I go to sketch F double prime, I'm going to say F double prime is two things. F double prime is negative, and F double prime is nope. F prime is concave down. F double prime, the derivative of concave down, is decreasing. If F prime is concave down, then its derivative, f double prime, is decreasing. So I'm going to have to draw my graph so that I'm negative and decreasing. So that would be negative and decreasing. I want to come back to that.
Is there somewhere on this chart where we can like find out the double prime thing, or where you get from?
Uh-huh.
So whenever it says it's f prime is decreasing, all it says that f double prime should be less than 0.
Okay, so here's where I think I lost some folks. I think everybody's okay with this. If f is concave down, f prime, f prime is decreasing, f double prime, less than 0. This is the chain of a function, its derivative, and that guy's derivative. F prime is concave down. So the derivative of this guy is decreasing. If f prime is concave down, then f double prime is decreasing. If f double prime is decreasing, guess what? F triple prime would be negative. We're not going to talk about f triple prime. I'm not interested in f triple prime. That's not the thing for us to worry about. But because f prime was concave down, f double prime has to be decreasing, negative and decreasing. Let's take this next interval. Two things about f prime here. F prime is, it's decreasing and concave up. So when I switch over to my green, I'm going to be, f prime is decreasing, right?
Yeah.
So f double prime is, if f prime is decreasing, f double prime, negative. And f prime is concave up, so f double prime is increasing, which maybe that makes sense because I have to go from here and get up to my root. Right? I knew I had a root, so I'm going to go negative and increasing. And it's okay. It's okay. As long as I am negative and increasing, that's what I care about. Let's look on this next interval. From here until 0, I know that f prime is two things. F prime is increasing and it's concave up. So what I draw with the green, if the blue is increasing and concave up, then with the green I need to draw positive and increasing. So draw me something that is positive and increasing. Positive and increasing. Okay? On this next interval, f prime, two things. F prime is increasing. F prime is concave down. Turn to somebody near you, tell them what's going to happen with f double prime. F prime is increasing, concave down. F double prime has to be two things. If f prime is increasing, then f double prime must be positive and decreasing. So draw positive and decreasing. Oh yeah, don't forget about your root. Positive and decreasing. Right? Having the roots is a good guide because you know you're going to have to connect. Now, one thing that we didn't talk about, and I should have prepared a little bit better, I'm so sorry. We have a vertical tangent line happening, right? They told us in the beginning. If f prime has a vertical tangent line, then f double prime. If you're not sure, go back to that goal sheet. If the original function has a vertical tangent line, the derivative has to have something really special. It has a vertical asymptote. So draw in your vertical asymptote. And the rest of the graph, just because I don't want to spend any more time on this, is going to look something like this. We're decreasing, so we're negative, and now we're increasing, and we're positive. Most likely, I would not give you guys anything this complicated on something like a quiz or a test, but it might have little pieces. It's going to be okay. Jasmine, you look like you're trying to open your eyes open as like wide as possible and take it all in. Are you okay?
I don't understand any of this, to be honest.
Okay, thank you for your honesty. We'll work on this. All right, so I want to leave this journal entry. I want to go one more thing. There's one more thing I could do with you. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited about this. We have spent all this time looking at graphs, and now I'm going to take away the graph. Oh, it's exciting. Oh my God, I know. It's like, it's the moment you guys have been waiting for, so if it makes you feel good, maybe you want to high-five your neighbor. You're so excited about this. It is good stuff. No one's high-fiving anybody. What's wrong? So you guys don't like celebrate in the same way that I do?
No.
You're like, oh, it's going to get even harder. Love it! Oh my God, here it comes. Here it comes. The last thing. This is going to take us to the end.
This is the end. All right.
Not the end of the course, Jose. No graph is given. Oh my God, apparently this graph wants to stay forever. Don't use the green markers. All right, we'll figure that out later. Okay, great. Great, all that green. So glad I used the green. There, stupid green. All right, so if I don't give you the graph, maybe I'll give you the equation. Maybe I'll give you the equation. So here's what I know. I'm going to give you the function x to the 5th minus 5x to the 4th plus 2, and I want you to use that to answer the following questions. Trust your instincts here. On what intervals is f increasing? I want to know where f is increasing. What do we know for sure? F is increasing. There's one thing you know for sure. Marvin, what do you know for sure?
Prime of x is positive.
F prime of x is positive, and depending on the scoring rubric, that might actually get you some points. F prime of x is positive. Good. What's F prime? Do you know it?
Yeah, you can solve for it.
Right, you know that x to the 5th, f of x is x to the 5th minus 5x to the 4th plus 2. And I heard a whole lot of folks already tell me what f prime is. I didn't give you the graph, but you've got the power rule. So f prime is 5x to the 4th minus 20x cubed. Great, so all that you need to do is figure out where is that positive. So probably a point for making that connection, probably a point for coming up with the derivative. Maybe you're having flashbacks right now to pre-calculus. Because you guys did stuff like this with Mr. S. I was there. I was sitting in the back of the room. One of the things that we do in pre-calculus is you learn how to solve polynomial inequalities doing something called the number line test. I'm just watching your faces. Everyone's like,
That was the one.
I was out that day. Yes, that was the day. That was the day every single one of you was absent. So let me just show you how you do it. If I want to figure out where 5x to the 4th minus 20x cubed is positive, what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to start by asking the question, where is 5x to the 4th minus 20x cubed equal to 0? I'm going to ignore the fact that it's an inequality just for a little bit, because you've got a lot more experience solving polynomial equations. What would you do? Ask to solve a polynomial equation. What's your first move? You're going to factor if you can. Factoring skills are good here, and we can thank Mr. Kurth for that. What are we going to factor?
5x.
Right, 5x cubed times x minus 4 is equal to 0. Okay, we're making some progress here. If I asked you where is 5x cubed times x minus 4 equal to 0, I bet everybody could look at this and just tell me where this is equal to 0. Where does that happen?
4.
It should happen at 4. It also happens at 0. You have two solutions here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make a number line. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the number line, and I'm going to call my number line f prime. At x equals 0 and x equals 4, those are the values I'm going to place on my number line. Because at 0, my first derivative is 0. At 4, my first derivative is equal to 0. The first derivative is 0 at those two places. Anywhere else? Could f prime, could this guy here be equal to 0 anywhere else? Could there be other solutions? Hold on, Robert. 5x to the fourth minus 20x cubed equals 0. Could there be any other solutions? Or have we caught them all? How many of you guys really don't understand the question I'm asking? Thank you for the honesty. Thank you for the honesty. If I asked all of you guys to solve this equation, I am pretty sure everybody would tell me x equals 0 and x equals 4, right? That's the easy thing.
Yes.
What that means is those are your roots. If you were to look at the graph, those are the roots. Those are the only roots. And you also know something about this guy over here. It's a polynomial. Polynomials are continuous. You have a root at x equals 0. You have a root at x equals 4. Before I get to x equals 0, my graph will either be above the x-axis all the time or below the x-axis all the time. And I need to figure out which one it is. I'm going to do the same thing over here. I'm going to figure out, am I above the x-axis or below the x-axis? And after x equals 4, am I above the x-axis or am I below the x-axis? And the idea back in pre-calc is you would pick a test point. So pick some value of x to the left of 0. Any value, doesn't matter. -1, -2, -pi if you're kind of crazy. Pick a test value and plug -1 in to your derivative. F prime of -1 is 5 times -1 cubed times -1 minus 4. I don't care what the number is. I care about one thing. I care about the sign of the number that I get, the SIGN. So go through your mental math if you need to. 5 times -1 cubed. I don't even care that it's -5. I care about one thing. I care about the sign. What's the sign here? Negative. The sign here? The sign here is negative. So the sign of the answer?
Positive.
Positive. What that means is I picked a test value over here and the answer, my derivative, is positive. Do it again over here on this interval. So pick another good test point. F prime of 1. F prime of 2. Doesn't matter. 5 times 1 cubed times 1 minus 4. 5 times 1 cubed, that's 5. 1 minus 4. -3. Don't even care about the -3, right? What do I care about? I care about the sign. So f prime of 1 is negative. X equals 1 is my test value, and I got a negative. Pick a point after 4. So find like f prime of 5 maybe. 5 times 5 cubed times 5 minus 4. Don't tell me what the number is. If you know that 5 cubed is 125, fabulous. Times 5 to 625, all the rest of us care about is positive. So f prime is positive in this first interval, negative in the second interval, positive in the last interval. So go back to the question. Are you okay? The question was, when's f increasing? Abraham, do you see it? Where's f increasing?
So the number of the rows represents -1.
So, careful. -1 is your test point. Sometimes I circle the test point so I don't get them confused with my endpoints. So f is increasing for all the values less than 0, right? As an interval, I could say like -infinity to 0. That's a place. Where else?
4.
And then from 4 to infinity, because, why did I pick those intervals? What's so special? What's so special, Marvin, on those intervals?
F prime is positive.
Because f prime is positive. Done. The new piece there was the number line test, which I don't think anybody saw coming. It's been a long time. Ron Beer, what's up?
Since it's a polynomial to the 4th degree, don't
Yep.
we know that it's going to be pointing, like our endpoints are going to be pointing upward?
I'm so glad you said that. Because it's a degree 4 polynomial, the ends have to do the same thing. They both point up or they both point down. I make the decision based on that leading coefficient. They both point up. Right? So I would expect positive over here. I'd expect positive on this side. So if you know some polynomial behavior, it can change things. And what happened at x equals 0, you have a triple root, which was way back to pre-calculus stuff. Sometimes the graph bounces off the x-axis. Sometimes it passes through. You have like a whole even-odd conversation. All right, using this number line, I want you to find out where you're going to have f is going to have a max and where f is going to have a min. How would you decide if f has a max? If f has a max, what does it take to have a max? Jose, what has to happen?
The function changes from positive to negative.
Which function?
F prime.
F prime changes from positive to negative when f has a relative max. Do you know where f prime is going to change from positive to negative?
0 at x equals 0.
At x equals 0, f prime, because this is the number line for f prime, changed from positive to negative, so you have a relative max at 0. What's happening over here at x equals 4? You have a relative min because f prime changed negative to positive. This is some good stuff. David.
But it's going from -1 to 1. It's positive to negative. Wouldn't that be?
From -1, we're not talking about the x values, we're talking about the derivative values.
Yes. On that side it was positive, and then the other side it was negative.
Okay, hold on. At x equals 0, the derivative changes from positive to negative. Are you okay with that? So f has a relative max at x equals 0. At x equals 4, f prime changes from negative to positive, so f has a relative min. Okay, so let's talk about what you guys are going to do between now and Thursday. Okay, Thursday you guys have a quiz when you first walk in. Actually, I want to change that. New plan for Thursday. You have a quiz. Not when you first walk in. The first thing that you're going to do when you guys walk in is we're going to go over the multiple choice questions. I'll tell you right now, the quiz on Thursday, 2 parts, multiple choice, free response. The way you're going to study for the multiple choice, right here, there's 21 multiple choice questions. Stay with me for 1 minute. I want you to choose 12 of them. Write yourself a little note, choose 12.